Hello everyone! Welcome back to Anime Maker! Today I am going to create a sprite for the game that we are making. Okay, I'm done. Let's go ahead and save it now. We're gonna call this in this. There is a specific reason I want to create a character sprite that has no graphic. And I will get to pointing that out when we get there, just keep it in mind for now. With that out of the way, let's go ahead and return to the main editor, and while I'm getting my game here loaded up, I have a bit of a story to tell. So, years ago, I was trying to create my own magnum opus, my actual magnum opus, my big project. It was called Slayer's Reign. It's basically a game where dragon slayers are the bad guys and the dragons are the sort of victims, even though the bad things that happened are kind of their fault. Well, the game never got finished. The problem was that I would frequently go back to the start of the game, realize that I could do some things better, and either modify some things or, on a few occasions, completely restart from scratch. And this would happen over and over again. I would sometimes make a little bit of progress, but never very much, because I just kept going back and redoing the beginning of the game. It was like an infinite loop. The reason I bring that up is we have been spending quite a bit of time just working on the first town here. And yeah, it would be nice to kind of move on, but there's that perfectionist in me that wants everything to be just right before moving on. And also, more importantly, I want to make sure everything is just right and leave nothing hanging, because otherwise I'm going to come back to this town later on to do the things that I didn't get around to finishing, and wind up changing some things, and then I'd come back again later to change some things, and I'd come back again later to change some things, and wind up in the same loop that prevented Slayer's Reign from being finished. With that in mind, I don't have much else to do with the town. There were a few things I forgot to do in the last stream, but not very much left. Basically, I'll have everything else done here within the next 10 minutes. So let's see here. Next thing I want to do real quick is I want to explain away the curse key just a little bit here when we open the door for the first time. So, and that happens, and I'm going to have the song change. We're going to have a sort of miniature cutscene here, and we're going to use this song right here. And let's see. And so the curse of the curse key. Nope, not yet. Was broken with the breaking of the key. Redundancy is fun. Actually, what I'm going to want to do here is have this all take place on the first page, now that there's actually a difference between the pages here. And there we go, that is that taken care of. Let's see here. I want to modify the Kappa moment here. I want to have him have a message after you trade with him, or possibly not trade with him. Something that makes sense for both cases. So he's going to say, do not steal donuts. And that one's simple. Oh yeah, there's another sign that I forgot to put in. Let me go ahead and do that, because Jenny's house does act as a makeshift inn of sorts, so I will go ahead and put in a sign for an inn, like so. And what else? Ah, yeah. When we enter the town, I'm actually going to go ahead and move the location like all the way at the bottom of the map. In case anybody's wondering, the biggest map you can have is 64 by 64 tiles. So gonna go there, and same thing for on the second version of the map, all the way down. And there's a reason for this which will come into play after we're done with the fire dungeon. But I figured best to have it out of the way right now. And so instead of moving the party up 4, we're going to move the party to a specific point. This point right here. And then I also want to make it so that the phone can actually ring whenever you come in from this direction. Oh, actually, before I do that, I need to fix the odds. Where are the odds? Oh, right. The odds are right here. I need to fix this so that it's not like a guarantee that you get a phone call. Set it back to where I had it before. 80% chance that nothing happens. Along with that, we're going to actually put that right here. And since we're coming in from like right here, 1, 2, 3, and to the right one. So whenever we come in from the north, it'll go down 3 spaces and 1 to the right. It's a good thing I have all these changes written down. In fact, I think that's basically it for the town. Let me go over my notes just a little bit more. Yeah! Now we are done with the town! And we're not even 10 minutes into this video. Depending on whether you're watching this live or not, there was a few minutes of just sitting around waiting for people to show up. So then, other things I want to change real quick. I've decided that since Jenny is going to get a pair of shields, dual-wielding shields, maybe she doesn't necessarily need a defense of 4. I'll drop that down to 3 and give her an extra point of intelligence. And by the way, with the town done, I'm calling it done. I'm not allowed to go back and make any changes unless it's because something is flat out broken. That is a rule I am enforcing on myself. Now, speaking of those shields, I decided that since she's going to dual wield them, having them be worth 10 points each is a little too much, so they're going to be 5 points each. And the giant shield is going to be maybe 15 points instead of 20. I don't know, I might change it later. And also the stat buffs. I have them at 3 points each, but since you get like 5 each, probably better to have 2 points each. Especially because the player might wind up stacking them all on the same person. Except status resistance, I'm actually gonna change to 500. That way, if the player stacks 5 of them, that amounts to 2,500 points of status resistance, which basically means, like, for poison, that's down to 75% chance of being poisoned instead of, well, whatever we happen to be at the start of the game. And at Wario Land Gold Pyramid's suggestion, this is going to change to Experience Up, since depending on when you use it, there's no guarantee it will result in a level up. By the way, an interesting thing about giving the player experience, either through an item or through a script command, even though this is enough for a level up at the start of the game, it's not going to automatically level them up. Level ups only happen at the end of a battle, so that's kind of a weird thing. Something else I want to do here is bump everybody's agility a couple of points. The reason for this is agility not only affects turn order, but accuracy. So if I want monsters to be accurate enough to cause damage, they're going to have a higher agility than the player's evasion. And with the current stats, that would mean that they'd always have to be faster than the player, and I kind of don't want that. So I'm going to give each character a couple extra points in agility to kind of bump that out. So that now I could have the monster have 25 agility. They'd still be slower than the player, but also accurate enough to get around that evasion. And that's it. We're ready to move on. Stat buffs, status resistance level up, stat buffs again. Oh, wait, no, there is one more thing. Because the stat buffs here are so expensive for the sake of the trading system, I don't want the player to just wind up selling these and having a crap ton of money, so no selling the stat buffs. And that's it. Now we are ready to move on. Yay! I'm gonna save because that is a momentous occasion. Eventually, this game's going to wind up taking more than one slot of memory there. Okay, so now we need to go ahead and start a new test play. I do have a test play already started here, but there is an interesting problem with it. First off, I can't load it for some reason. That is weird. Why can't I load it? What did I change? I don't know why that's the case. Weird. Well, anyway, I guess I'll just have to tell you what the situation there is. So you remember a while back when I was test playing inside the Inferno and I wound up getting a random encounter over here, even though I don't have random encounters set over here? Well, apparently the reason there was a random encounter here is because the test play file was created before I made it so that monsters were set in individual places. Initially, monsters were set for the entire map. That's apparently something that is saved in your character's save progress thing for some reason. Kind of weird that. So, even though the test play kind of got nullified somehow, I don't know how, it doesn't matter because, quite honestly, I don't want to use it anyway. It has bum data. So we need to go ahead and play up to where we need to be next. Want to make sure I can't go there and there's no floating island there yet. So let's go ahead and hop in here. So far, this is correct. There's the snapshot feature for the ending. I was looking at the sky and it turns out it is blue! And this is still working. Don't do that. Alright, let's go ahead and move right on. We'll get that new little thing happening here when we use the curse key on this door. And so, the curse of the curse key was broken with the breaking of the key. And then we get this cutscene again. Actually, there is something else I want to do here, now that I think about it. There is a glitch I noticed before and I forgot to change it. And it was right there when Jenny momentarily was facing the wrong direction before stepping down. I don't have to restart the test play in order to fix that though. I can just go ahead and finish up this cutscene real quick. And I'll set a quick save here. Now I'll go change it. So which page was it where she steps down? It's right there. So I want her to be starting off facing down. That is the situation. Whenever it cuts to this page in the script, it had her facing to the right before stepping down. So that fixes that. Now, back to the test play. And of course it sets me there because I loaded onto the map. So I'll just go ahead and head back the normal way. No phone call yet. There's another snapshot. Got a boat. And also a thief who tripped and fell into this chest. No phone call yet. Just to make sure that the phone call works from the top though, I'll go ahead and bounce back up here and kind of head in and out until it actually happens. Hopefully it'll happen within the next few tries and I don't have to sway the odds in my favor again. It should work though. I see no reason why the phone call wouldn't happen. Tell you what though, for having a 20% chance that the phone call does happen, the odds are seemingly not as accurate as one would expect. I mean, 20%, that means it should happen once out of 5 tries, and it hasn't happened at all yet. That is so weird. Have you ever had one of those days where you're just waiting for a phone call and it just would not ring? I have had days like that. Put everything aside because I just know at some point the phone call is going to happen. And then there's been days where it just didn't happen. There it is! It had to happen eventually. Actually, there's something else I remembered that I wanted to do. I wanted to make it so that if you leave, then I guess the phone call would trigger again or you would miss it. Yeah, that's what I'll do. Just real quick, I'll have that happen. So once again, this is one of those changes to kind of fix something. Because obviously something weird is going to happen if you try leaving without getting the phone call. Or taking the phone call. So let's see here. So the phone call happens if we're on switch 5. And switch 6 is if we answer the phone. So if we don't trigger that, then it's basically going to be kind of like that. But we're going to miss the phone call, therefore we'll turn the phone off so that the player has to try again. And take over to the previous page where the exit is. And same thing... Same thing for this. So switch on... If 5 is on, but we haven't answered... There. Oh! You know, I'm doing this the complicated way. Maddie has a better suggestion. Maddie says we could just have Jenny say, "Hey, my phone, shouldn't we check it?" Actually, I like your idea better. Let's do that. So... we should... answer that. In fact, we're going to have the phone ring some more if we try leaving. So where's the phone ringing? Oh right, it's over here, in the phone. That makes sense. So, ring, ring. We'll just include 2 of the rings. And move the party back up 1 space. Or alternatively, when they're over here, move the party down 1 space. That makes a little bit more sense than having the player just ignore the phone call. The fun part is now I got to get the phone to trigger again so I can test that little change. Oh, and now it happened after the 2nd try. So we're just going to ignore it. We should answer that. And forced away. We should answer that. Cool! Jenny, I got your number. It's a winner. Come next door. And we are now allowed to leave. Yay! But for the sake of testing, I'm not going to get the imitation golden magic helmet. I am, however, going to give the thief to the cop here. And I'm going to... let's see... For the sake of balancing, we're going to trade in the thief for all these defense ups. Do not steal donuts. Indeed. Should probably also get this money down here so that we can buy some stuff. Have we actually bought stuff in this make-through yet? I don't think we have. Yep, ignoring you, you can keep your fake helmet. So with the 2,000 gold, we need a stick, we need a fire stick, we need 2 shields. That leaves enough for... we'll go ahead and buy 5 bananas and... oh, let's see here. Revive is kind of important. We'll buy 2 teas. Three revives. And as many onions as we can carry. So with that, I'm gonna go ahead and equip this stuff. So the stick, versus fire stick, I'm gonna have to kind of test out how that balances out. Meanwhile, you get the shield and the shield. Hooray for dual-wielding shields! I doubt anybody would ever do that on purpose, so I'm making them do it. I wonder if I should have him say something different after you trade away the thief. That probably would be a good idea. Yeah, I should go ahead and do that. I'll exit the town first. Create a new test place since the old one is kind of not good for some reason. There. Interestingly, the test play time is the same as the development time. Kind of interesting that. Okay, let's go ahead and make it so that after trading away the thief, the cop just does his other message. So, what we'll do here, we get the thief and switch 7 is turned on. So, obviously if switch 7 is turned on, that means we have gotten the thief. But additionally, if we no longer have the thief, that means we traded it away. So, the cop can just be all, do not steal donuts. Natty Ratata says, shields are surprisingly okay weapons in Dark Souls. Yeah, apparently they're also a weapon in the Kingdom Hearts games. As for Dark Souls, I tried the game out before. I'm not really interested in those hard as nails sort of games, slow pace and that sort of thing. Let's also get this guy kind of animated. He'll just step in place. No sense standing there as a statue. But then again, he is a cop. Maybe he does stand there like a statue. Yeah, that makes sense. He's a cop, so he stands there like a statue. Like those people in England. Alright, and with that out of the way, we're ready to move on to the fire cave. Hooray! And by we're ready to move on to the fire cave, I mean it's time for an episode break. Hooray! We will be right back. And when we come back, we're finally moving back into the fire cave. I've got some more scripting to do in there. And eventually we're going to make it so that the monsters are worth fighting. That'll definitely be happening at some point during this session.